That's a sick Darce. Islam is elite.
Yeah.
He's elite when it comes to like strangling people. He gets guys on the ground and I think it's just a next level power and squeeze. Some dudes just have next level squeeze and next level like grappling power, and he's developed that his whole life.
The UFC's voice of reason, Joe Rogan, just dropped some shocking takes on the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena super fight, and fans are stunned by where he stands. However, Joe Rogan praised Islam Makhachev as a top-tier fighter, calling his skills elite, but he also gave Jack Della Maddalena his due, pointing out that JDM is just as dangerous when it comes to choking people out. Rogan stated that both men are absolute killers in their own right, but did not side with anyone or predict a victor.
That's a sick Darce. Islam is elite.
Yeah.
He's elite when it comes to like strangling people.
Additionally, Joe showed major respect for Islam Makhachev, calling him an incredibly powerful force in the welterweight division. He praised Islam's fighting style and highlighted just how much bigger and stronger compared to other fighters. He noted that Islam is a truly worthy opponent for Jack Della.
Tighter squeeze into it. Well, I think his squeeze is just phenomenal. Because if you see the way he tapped Drew Dober too, the same sort of situation, he gets guys on the ground and I think it's just a next level power and squeeze. Some dudes just have next level squeeze and next level like grappling power, and he's developed that his whole life. He's also enormous for 155.
In addition, Rogan stated that Islam Makhachev is so dominant, he can beat just about anyone in the UFC with ease. According to Rogan, Islam has reached a level where his control, power, and skill make it look almost effortless. However, whether that can be said in the case of a fighter like JDM, only time will tell.
Islam was so good in that fight. It's like, who is compelling? Other than Volkanovski, like, who's compelling?
I mean, there's no one on that I look at and I'm like, ooh, that interesting.
Islam beats him so soundly that now you're like, I don't even know if it makes sense for Charles to fight him again.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Moreover, Rogan pointed out that Makhachev was a big guy for the lightweight division and had to cut a massive amount of weight just to make 155. He added that Islam is now at welterweight. He wanted to go through such a drastic weight cut, which could make him even more dangerous.
Islam looked like Michelangelo sculpted him.
He's so big. He's so strong, so good.
What does he weigh? What does he weigh like normal? Like right now, if you called him up, what do you weigh, brother? What do you say?
I would say at least minimum like 185, 190.
Out of here. He's 210 pounds.
No, Islam.
That guy's 250 pounds.
His strength feels like 250 pounds.
That's what I hear.
But that's the thing with them. They're always training. No matter what they're doing, they always at least run once a day or grapple.
So he's losing roughly 30 pounds to make 55?
From the start, I would say. Yeah.
He's big. That's about as big as you can get and keep doing that.
In addition, Joe praised Islam as the complete package, saying he can grapple, strike, and do just about everything inside the cage. He highlighted how impressive it is that Islam has submitted some of the biggest names in the UFC, calling his all-around skill set nothing short of incredible.
He could do everything. He's as good as it gets. He's as good as it gets. He's the most complete fighter on the roster because he submits people. Like he submitted Poirier in the final round. Incredible submission. But he was winning that fight already. But then, he can also knock you out. He literally does everything. He's one of the best wrestlers in the sport. His top control and his squeeze is insane.
Yeah.
Like, remember when he tapped out Drew Dober? He got a hold of Drew Dober. It's like Drew Dober had zero chance of moving. He wasn't going anywhere. He was just crushed. It was like he was fighting a man twice his size.
Furthermore, Lucas Tracy pointed out that while Jack Della Maddalena is known to have a strong ground game, he hasn't fully showcased it in his fights. He noted that much of the current conversation is based on potential rather than proven performances on the mat. Tracy added that he's hopeful the grappling lives up to expectations, especially considering Jack is training under one of the best grappling coaches in the game.
We know that he's got good ground game. We know that he's pretty good, but he's not really showing it, man. He's not really showing it. And it's like every moment that we can think of JDM grappling in his UFC career, it's getting taken down by Basso Hoffus or pulling guillotines and getting taken down because of that. That's low IQ. That's not a good look. You can't say, oh, the Basil Hoffus fight proves he's a great grappler. A lot of people are just talking about JDM's grappling, and I'm assuming that he's got good grappling because he trains with Craig Jones, but that's kind of what it is. I feel like he's got the Craig Jones aura. So, I don't know, man. I'm not ready to say he's like B- well-rounded. I'm sorry. He's just not shown us enough offensive grappling. And he's not even shown us enough phenomenal defensive grappling. Like, again, not getting submitted by Gilbert Burns is not really a flex. Gilbert Burns doesn't finish anyone on the ground.
Meanwhile, the Weasel explained why Jack Della Maddalena might be the biggest challenge Islam Makhachev has ever faced. He pointed out JDM's top-tier striking skills and noted that he's also the biggest opponent Islam has ever faced. The Weasel believes that the size difference alone makes this fight considerably more risky than anything Islam has faced so far.
But to be fair against Burns, he was injured in the fight. I think just as an opponent, JDM is the biggest threat to Islam. He's the biggest fighter he's ever fought. He's one of the best strikers in the UFC. He shows such good takedown defense in the Bilal fight, and he's very good at scrambling. Even scrambled out of the position with Gilbert Burns to land that knee and knock him out. Now, I think the reason why he's more difficult than Ilya is mainly because of the size difference. Like, JDM would never be able to fight a featherweight. I don't even think he could make lightweight. JDM is an average welterweight. Ilya is, I guess Ilya is like an average lightweight now, but he's nowhere close to the size of JDM. Skill for skill, Ilya is a better fighter, but JDM has the size that Ilya doesn't, and that's a big aspect of a fight.
Building on that, Gilbert Burns revealed that Jack Della Maddalena is the hardest hitter and the toughest striker he has ever faced inside the octagon. And coming from a seasoned veteran like Burns, that's not something to take lightly. It adds even more weight to the idea that JDM might be the most dangerous challenge Islam Makhachev has ever seen.
JDM is one of the guys that I fought that hits the hardest. And I fought Woodley, I fought Mara, I fought Hamza. That guy,
he could crack.
That guy give me a little jab, and then like, wow, God, and you can feel it was not a stiff jab, it was just like pick.
Yeah.
And then, wow, that guy hits hard. Okay, I gotta watch out with that.
Echoing that sentiment, Max Holloway showed major respect for Jack Della Maddalena, calling him one of the best fighters on the planet. He made it clear that once JDM steps into the cage with Islam Makhachev, the world will finally see how dangerous he really is.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is going to find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So, I mean, he is, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you got to respect that. But, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Additionally, Bedtime MMA claimed that Jack Della Maddalena is unbeatable by anyone currently signed to the UFC. He pointed out that Jack's striking is world-class, and the only fighters who might pose a real challenge are those who can smoothly combine pressure grappling with technical striking.
I might have to bring in Steve Irwin. I might have to bring in Thanos. Like, maybe Thanos might be able to beat JDM. Maybe he stuffs a couple of takedowns and land some good shots. Dude, who am I actually beating to beat JDM? I feel like obviously you could be like, dude, GSP destroys JDM. I don't think he does. I think GSP always wore damage very, very badly, and he had a good jab, he had good boxing, good defense, good footwork, great wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. GSP is, in my opinion, like straight up one of the two most well-rounded fighters in UFC history. GSP is so good, and I have no doubt he would have an extremely competitive fight with JDM. I'm talking straight up nightmare matchup.
Interestingly, Joe Rogan noted that Islam Makhachev is a massive athlete who likely weighs around 190 pounds when not competing. He expressed that he never fully understood how Islam managed to compete at 155 pounds for so long, considering his size. Rogan also mentioned that every time he stood next to Islam in person, it was evident just how physically imposing he is.
Islam Makhachev is huge. I mean, that guy, how he makes 155 is, I don't understand it. Every time I stand next to him, like, how are you 155?
How much do you think he walks around?
He's got to be 190-ish, in the 190 range. He's got to be. That's what he looks like to me.
I never saw him in person.
Yeah, he's thick. He's thick and big. I mean, he's not a 155-pound man. It's just so silly.
However, Lucas Tracy acknowledged that Islam Makhachev's striking might not be on the same level as some of the top strikers in the division, but emphasized that those same strikers don't have Islam's elite grappling. He pointed out that while others may have the edge in stand-up exchanges, they don't possess the same dominant ground game that Makhachev brings to the table.
Makhachev is, in my opinion, and this might come as a hot take, I think he is an elite striker. I mean, listen, what do you need to prove if you're Islam Makhachev to be up there with Jan and Volk? Like, yeah, is Makhachev going to show us as impressive striking as Jan or Volk? Not necessarily, but Volk is not going to show us as impressive grappling as Makhachev is, right? I think that Makhachev striking, he's going out there and he's schooling Oliveira on the feet, hardly getting touched, making Oliveira look a little bit silly. And yeah, there are moments where he looks like a bit of a sloppy guy on the feet, but he outstrikes Oliveira. If you're just talking about Oliveira, you're saying he's a good striker. Maybe not elite, but he's a good and dangerous striker. Makhachev schooled him, dropped him, hardly got hit. Against Volkanovski in the first fight, Makhachev outstruck Volk.
Moreover, Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, offered his take on the challenge ahead, identifying Jack Della Maddalena as a dangerous opponent with a versatile skill set.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yep. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes the body to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then all of a sudden a kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to, no, we got to see what he's going to give us. And we have to, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to. He's really that good.
Adding to that, Khabib Nurmagomedov weighed in by labeling Jack Della Maddalena as the toughest test of Islam Makhachev's career so far. According to Khabib, this matchup presents a new level of difficulty that surpasses anything Islam has faced before.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов. И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы. Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья. Сопоставим. Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Маддалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Мадалена.
Building on that, Mendes highlighted Jack's impressive unbeaten streak and his ability to strike with precision from different angles. He also credited Jack's strong takedown defense, noting it as a crucial element that adds a layer of difficulty to the matchup for Makhachev.
I'm going to have to 1,000,000% agree with Khabib. I think this is our toughest test, and this is Khabib, and my biggest responsibility is to make sure we get Islam on tip-top shape and ready to do what we think and we believe he will do, and that's win. But it's not going to be easy. And if we make it look easy, it's because we were properly prepared, and Jack just happened to give us what we needed. But this is by no means a walkover fight. No means. This is a really, really tough fight. And we have immense respect for Jack and their team and what they can do. And so we're prepared, mentally now. Physically, we'll got 2 months before we start camp. We'll go then. But right now, we're mentally prepared for what Jack brings. And he brings a lot.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan and Bilal Muhammad discussed just how dominant Islam Makhachev's submissions are. They recall the win over Dan Hooker. And Joe pointed out that the finish was so brutal, it looked like Islam was moments away from tearing Dan's arm clean off. It was the kind of performance that reminded everyone just how dangerous Islam is on the ground.
I was just bringing that up when I talk about Dan Hooker. He just went to war with Gamrot.
Exactly.
And Islam just took him down and tapped him out within the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Tapped him out to the point where you're like, please tap, please tap. Tap, dude, just tap. Don't let him do it. Because it looked like he was going to break his fucking arm apart.
It's so funny because Khabib will get guys in there, and he's the type that'll grapple and just talk, have a conversation as he's grappling. But he had Ali and Kimura, and he's laughing, and Ali's tapping, and he's just brother, hey, brother, give me coffee. And he's just I'm like, bro, I think you're gonna break his arm at some point.
That's a terrible break too. That spiral break.
It's the worst. And I'm they're so strong and it's effortless with them. Their bodies move crazy.
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev acknowledged that this is going to be a tough fight. He mentioned watching Jack Della Maddalena's bout with Belal Muhammad and noted how early on in his career, JDM struggled against strong grapplers and wrestlers. But now, JDM has leveled up significantly and has become a serious threat.
I know you talked a little bit about Jack. What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see training a lot with the.
However, Josh Thompson predicted Islam Makhachev will have little trouble securing takedowns, particularly from the clinch. He expects Islam to apply constant pressure, pin Jack Della Maddalena against the fence, and utilize foot sweeps to drag the fight to the mat.
And I guess for me, though, too, it's kind of the unknown. I was expecting him actually to be the odds to be a little bit closer. As much as I'm leaning towards Islam, I was expecting the odds to be a little bit closer. Only based on the fact that the 15-pound jump is a lot. It's not like jumping from 25 to 35, 35 to 45, and 45 to 55. You're jumping the full 15. So how well does Islam handle the weight? When you're talking world-class fighters like a JDM and anybody else in that top 2 or 3 in the 175-pound or the 170-pound division. So there's a lot of questions to be answered there for me as well. Look, at 155 with Islam and Khabib, I had all the answers.
Adding to that, Michael Bisping believes the jump to welterweight won't be a walk in the park for Islam Makhachev. According to Bisping, Jack Della Maddalena poses a serious threat, especially after his impressive win over Belal Muhammad, whose style is very similar to Islam's style. With that comparison in mind, Bisping made it clear that Della Maddalena cannot be overlooked heading into this matchup.
Belal, he was the 170 champ. Islam's the 155 champ. They're very, very close in their abilities. This isn't like Islam's going to walk up to 170 and just walk through Jack Della Maddalena.
In addition, Michael pointed out that Alexander Volkanovski, despite being the smaller man, managed to give Islam Makhachev serious problems in their fight. With that in mind, Bisping believes the dynamic changes completely against Jack Della Maddalena, who brings more size and power into the equation.
But if you've ever been around him, he's not a very big man. He is the man, but he's a smaller man, okay? Yeah. And that first fight with Islam, the first one, he gave him everything he could handle. Yeah. Jack Della Maddalena is not a small 170-pounder, so I think...
And he brings all those same problems. Yeah, he brings all the takedown defense, the ability to scramble, and I think even better striking than anybody that Islam has really faced recently. Poirier had some moments, landed some good shots, and Jack has that and more, and is a much bigger, stronger guy at 170 pounds.
Ariel Helwani noted that fighters moving up in weight are usually at a disadvantage, but felt this particular matchup carried a different energy, emphasizing that with Islam Makhachev holding the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings, failing to secure a second title could deal a significant blow to his legacy.
Historically, the person coming up isn't the favorite.
Yeah. Well, in the Islam case, he is the number 1 pound for pound. If he were not able to be welterweight champion, that would be a significant hit to his case to being the number 1 pound for pound, right? The expectation is like, if you're the number 1 pound for pound, you should be able to move up and get that belt. So I think it makes a lot of sense to be the favorite.
JDM gonna have a case for fighter of the year if he wins that fight.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Moreover, Dan Hardy expressed interest in seeing how Islam Makhachev physically handles the move to welterweight, calling it a significant leap in weight. While Islam was considered a large lightweight at 155, Hardy questioned whether that size advantage would translate effectively at 170, where the competition brings a different level of size and strength.
I just wonder what Makhachev would look like as a welterweight. It is a big step up from one weight class to another, and he is big for this weight class. But I also, McGregor's a good example of when you kind of shift through gears in weight classes. It changes the way that you move, right? And it also changes your kind of tone and your attitude. McGregor as a featherweight was like feral and lean on the scales. But by the time he got to welterweight, he was like rubbing his belly and laughing, and it was a different kind of energy. And I'm not saying that would be Makhachev, of course, but just sometimes the discipline that he would have to get him down to 155 and the extra conditioning he would do is partly what makes him so formidable.
As the anticipation builds for this high-stakes showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, the MMA world remains split. The fight is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing stylistic clashes in the history of UFC. So, let us know your predictions in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat, and we'll see you in the next video with more exciting updates.